Everyone asks me, how is it like with this pregnancy? How has it been? I said, the first one was so different. It was so different because it was all about me, my plans, my day routine. Now it's about me focused on Hinaya, that she's okay, running around her, making sure her and her school routines to classes, whatever it is. The solid foundation has to be with one parent at home, whether it's the father, whether it's the mother,
Absolutely.
But I couldn't compromise on that. I needed my daughter to have me around. Like if Harbhajan's traveling all the time, and I don't live in a city where my family are.
Hello, everyone, and very excited for our live today because we're chatting with a mom who's the wife of a sports star, a former actress, and of course, pregnant during COVID. And she's going to share with us everything in between. And I'm quite excited to chat with her today because there's just so much to learn from her journey as a mom, and of course, how she's keeping calm and keeping cool in these times. Going to be chatting with Geeta Basra today, and I think it's going to be an exciting chat, and I'm really looking forward to this chat with her because I want to really know the behind the scenes of being a parent, co-parenting with a sports star, an international sports star, and of course, raising a little one, you know, uh, with with an acting and sport gene mixed. So quite excited about our chat today. Hi, Geeta.
Hi.
I'm loving the energy and the positivity that you're exuding right now. It's just so nice to, in these gloomy times, just say hello to someone who's, who's exuding that positivity. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Great to be here.
And tell me, how are you doing? How are you keeping yourself, positive and energetic, and keeping yourself fit? More importantly.
Uh, I think it's the same scenario with everyone, isn't it? Like we're all in the same boat right now. You're gonna get your days. You're gonna have your days where you don't want to do anything. You're lethargic. You're tired. You're just in one of those moods where you want to just relax, put your feet up. And that's fine also. That's okay. That's normal. You don't need to be like up and about and pepped up every single day. There are days where you want your own time. And there are days where I'm energetic. I want to work out. I want to do this. I want to do that. And unfortunately, the situation is where you can't go out, you can't do anything, but spend a lot of time with my daughter. So there's a lot of energy at home, which is nice because kids bring in that, innocent
Absolutely.
and energetic energy at home where they're always up and about, and she doesn't sit down for 2 seconds. I've got her to watch a movie right now, so she sits down and watches while I can have this interview. Otherwise, she's up and about and jumping around and mama, let's do this, mama, let's do that.
I
But
think
yeah.
that's one of the reasons why we're so fit, right? मतलब बैठने का time ही नहीं मिलता है. So what's the best option?
Everyone asks me, how is it like with this pregnancy? How has it been? I said, the first one was so different. It was so different because it was all about me, my plans, my day routine, my eating, my this. Now it's about me focused on Hinaya, that she's okay, running around her, making sure everything is fine with her and her school routines to her classes, whatever it is, So it's just flown by because I'm so busy with her that I just don't know where these months have gone. Like it's gone
Right.
so quick.
Yeah. And tell me, did you take a calculated decision in saying, if I become a mom, how will I go back, or will it impact my career? Did those thoughts cross like any other mom, right? We always second guess whether you're in the arc lights or whether you're in the corporate sector. You're always wondering, will I lose my position? Will I lose the place I am in? Did it bother you?
I have been getting this a question a lot lately. Like when I think back, on screen, and I honestly, like, for me, my priority has been raising my children. Like you have to. I'm from our family is such that Harbhajan is always traveling. He's
Yeah.
never there for 1 week or 2 weeks, and then he's traveling again. Only because of COVID, for the first time ever, we've spent so much time together. But otherwise, our life has been such that he's traveling every other week, and there has to be a permanent parent at home. Like I
Yeah.
can't. haven't bought my child and just so I can leave her and okay, I'm up and about. I need to have this time with her. I mean, I've realized how fast time has gone. She's already going to be 5 this year, and I'm like, where has the time flown? Like it's gone so quick. Like it'll fly by. And these are the moments I cherish. Like the memories I have built with her, the bonding I share with her, the milestones I have seen every single day of her life. I've not missed her first walk, her first word, or anything, and that's more important for me. Work I, we are in such a time. I'm so thankful that you can work at any time of your life. Like there's so
Yeah.
many options available today for a girl, which maybe wouldn't have been there 14 years back. Today, I am at a position where if I want to go back, I can go back. With OTT platforms and there's so many other options. But right now, my focus is something else. Like my focus is my work.
Yeah, one parent kind of needs to be anchoring
They need that.
parenting. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, and it could be either parent, but I think that one parent has to be a primary parent, if I would say.
Absolutely. That is where their foundation is built for them. Their solid foundation has to be with one parent at home, whether it's the father, whether it's the mother,
Absolutely.
But I couldn't compromise on that. I needed my daughter to have me around. Like if Harbhajan's traveling all the time, and I don't live in a city where my family are. Like my family are all abroad, and his family are in Punjab. So we have to balance that, at home. So for me, that was important.
Yeah, I have so much respect for moms and dads who are raising their kids in nuclear families with folks not being around. Because I live in a joint family and I only wonder that, listen, like, at the end of the day, when you want to pass the child on to somebody, and in your case, given that Harbhajan's also traveling, it must be really hard.
You
How do you
lucky
keep
to have
saying?
that joint family. I think it's beautiful that you have family around. Like I'm waiting for my mom to come here so she gets some time with her grandchild as well.
Yeah.
Uh, it's a lovely thing when the kids grow up with their grandparents, and whenever she goes to Punjab, she spends time with her dadi, and when we go to London, she spends time with her nani. But it's not a constant thing. It's like once, twice, in the year. So it's nice if they get that time.
Absolutely. How is it to be pregnant in such an uncertain time? I'm sorry, I just cannot resist asking that. And how are you keeping yourself sane with all the noise around and with Harbhajan not being there?
Yeah, well, that's a good question because it's something that I have experienced for the first time ever, being pregnant in this kind of pandemic. Where when I was pregnant with Hinaya, it was there's so much I did. There were so many classes I went to prenatal yoga classes, to aquanatal classes, to my walks, to shopping. Like I was so active till my ninth month. This time you're forced to sit at home. You're forced to be in those four walls, and you have to figure it out. You have to figure out how am I going to get you still have to motivate yourself to be active. You can't just be sitting on the sofa, even if you're pregnant. And that's something I want to speak to, regarding women who are pregnant during these times. Like you have to figure out a way of keeping yourself active. Being active is the most important part of being in pregnancy. If you want a smooth labor, if you have good benefits of not just your diet, in terms of your blood flow, your circulation, for the baby to be active and to be healthy. All these things matter when you're sitting at home doing yoga. That's what my daily activity is. I do yoga once a day, and that's my time, my 1 hour where I do my yoga. I walk, even if it's in the house, walk in the house. It's hard to motivate yourself during these times as well. I get it. It's not easy when you're just at home. You can't go anywhere, you can't take your kids out, you can't go to the park, you can't go to the beach. It's your mental mind, your mental status. This is when you're really tested, I feel,
Yeah.
because one, when you're pregnant, your hormones are all over the place. You have your hormones that one day you're going to be fine, the other you're frustrated, and there's not many people you can take it on. And it's like literally you have to figure out a way to
I'm
balance.
sure Harbhajan is thanking his stars he's not around at this point in time. Otherwise, he would have got the best of it.
He's probably thanking his stars that thank God I'm not around.
Right.
But on a serious note, I think this pandemic has forced you to do things that you maybe wouldn't have realized. Like for me, um, it's literally like I am not as active as I was in my first pregnancy. I can give that, like I can honestly truly say that it's been hard to find ways of making myself more active. Um, and this pandemic just doesn't seem to end, so it is hard mentally that you want to get out, you want to take your child out. That's the hardest part. When I see my daughter, she's such an outgoing girl. For her to be just at home at this time, for a pregnant woman to be out is even more riskier. You know, you want to be sitting at home where you're safe and sound, where there's no risks involved. So literally we don't even step out. um, and yeah, so that's the only thing you can do. What else can you do? You have to find activities.
How are you keeping her busy and entertaining her all day?
So it's like I said, it's hard because they constantly require attention. And my daughter is at that age where she's you have to keep feeding them new creative skills. You know, I have done certain activities where I've posted it as well. A lot of people, a lot of mothers ask me, what do you do? How do you, keep your daughter busy during these days? So, you know, circuit training at home. I got like a marker and, you know, drew it on the floor where she can do all these different activities and jumping around and different types of exercise, to painting, to pottery, to, you know, baking together, you know, which she enjoys. But it's hard to find something new like every day. You can't do this thing every single day. I understand that. You know, it is hard. So a couple of times in a week, I kind of mix it up, do something different with her. And she's, you know, she loves school. She's enjoying school, so at least she's occupied with that and for a couple of hours in the day. And then the rest of the time, we try and figure out hide and seek, or, you know, different activities in the day which she enjoys. I kind of focus. I leave it to her that you tell me, what do you want to play? You
Yeah.
know, the rest of the days where I kind of come up with more creative stuff, that let's do this today, because I'm very inclined into art and creative sides, and so I get her involved as well, and she really enjoys that.
Right. Tell me, how is it to tell me about your woes with online school? Like, how are you managing it? And like, what's it
Sorry?
that you love about it and hate about it? Online school.
Online school. Oh, I'm not a parent who really I mean, it's something that you're forced to obviously give your child online schooling, but I'm not one for online schooling. I really can't wait till she goes back into a normal like this. This is a part of her childhood which she should experience, of going to school, making friends, running around, eating together at the lunch table, meeting her teachers, and that's your childhood. Like these are years that's never going to come back, you know. And I loved my childhood. I used to love going to school. And at home you got 2 hours on the computer. It's bad for your eyes. Getting them to focus for 2 hours also is a, you know, an issue where, you know, a child finds it hard to focus for that amount of time.
Right.
She enjoys it. She's got different activities in her class, PE to yoga to dance to music, a lot of different activities. But I still feel a child needs to be in school. They need to understand social skills. You know, they don't understand right now. She doesn't understand what social interactions are because she's always with me the whole day, every day.
Yeah, there's
And
so many skills I feel like the kids learn in school, like sharing,
share-
turns,
yeah,
taking turns is such a big thing. Likes, dislikes, prioritizing somebody else.
and
It doesn't go your way all the time.
it's the one-to-one interactions that's important. It's not you've got 15 other kids online. They're all trying to communicate. They're all trying to give their answers. But when they're in school, they'll have that one-to-one as well. They can, you know, they'll understand raising the hands and like giving each other a turn, and, you know, and for them it's just mentally also, like this is a very important time for them. It's not easy for the kids as well. Like we feel that, yeah, they're playing, they're fine. It's not. It's taking a toll on them as well. They need outdoors, they need the fresh air, they need the outside environment to make friends, to, you know, get dirty, to make a mess, whatever it is. That's your childhood. And
Yeah.
unfortunately at this time, they're they're missing out on all that. And this is the most important age, like 4 to 5 to 6 years old. I think it's a crucial age for them. It's sad.
Right. And now that we're talking about online school and we're talking about education, you're also raising a child who has sports in her blood, right? So tell me the role of sports in education. Like, how do you, like, what do you think? I mean, what do you think has been the biggest, like, how do you think sports is the biggest teacher for, it's as good as education because it teaches you so much.
So important. A child has, whether whatever sport it is, but get your child enrolled in some form of activity. A child today, it's all about your gadgets, your computers, your TV, and they're becoming lazy. It's simple as, like, they're getting lazy. They're so used to this online. Everything is just on TV or YouTube or whatever. Get them to be in some form of physical activity. They need to be in some sport. There's a balance of your mind and your body. It gives you a whole different perspective, discipline. The discipline you get when you play a sport, it's
Yeah.
very important for a child, the obviously the obvious reasons are you're physically active and your body's stronger and your whatever, that obviously comes naturally with playing a sport. But it's so important to balance your life. It's not just about education and being in school. There's other sides, whether it's even playing an instrument. There's so many
Right.
creative aspects to your personality that's nurtured when you're playing a piano. Like my daughter, I'm getting her to learn the piano so she can be creatively musically inclined as well. And your left side, your right side of the brain is also used. It's not just about learning maths and English, or science. There's other aspects to a child's learning that it makes them who they are, like it evolves them. And
Right.
yes, of course, her father is, into sports, and it's great that the kids will get that kind of push, that he can train them, he can play with them and teach them. I think that discipline that you get when you play sports, because you're more conscious about your diet, you're more conscious about, keeping fit, and generally, it's a very good thing to get your children
Yeah,
into.
it's a lot of discipline and hard work. So I think they'll
Bad
have
because
to
my
try it.
daughter was learning tennis and now she can't go to tennis classes. She was getting so good at tennis also. I was like, like so many things now have set her back. But it's okay. Whenever it opens up, she'll start again.
Yeah. Tell me, how different are yours and Harbhajan's parenting styles? You're an artist, he's a sports guy. How do the two,
I
how are the
think
parenting
I
styles really?
both very different. I think it's not about the sports and arts and stuff. I think generally because we're born and brought up in very different countries as well.
Yeah.
Um, my way of being raised was very different to his. Being from UK, our you know routines are different. Like, I'll give you a small example.
Yeah.
My daughter has a bath at night before sleeping, but here the custom is you get up, you have a bath, and you know you start the day with a bath. But in UK, you kind of end your day with a shower. So you're nice and fresh and whatever before you sleep. Timings. I know a lot of kids who probably don't have a lot of timing discipline here. In UK, you're in bed by 8.
Yeah.
Um, and it's certain things like that. It's like there's a whole lot of difference between the way he's been brought up, the way my parents have been involved. It's very different. Like, and we
So
both,
what's midway? What's mid ground for you?
so we
Do
both,
you call all the shots?
both like whatever his, we kind of bring it together. Like, it's nice to have the traditional values as well as the outside, like abroad, values as well.
Right.
So it's nice to bring both of these things together, and we kind of balance it.
Right. Tell me, Geeta, when you have the luxuries that we enjoy today, right? Whether it's working professionals or as celebrities such as yourself, we have the abundance of everything. How do you teach Hinaya the value of things, right? Because she pretty much takes everything for granted, and that's the problem of every urban Indian,
Oh, luckily
parent.
it does. And I think that's your job as a parent. They're the most innocent creatures ever born on this planet. You can teach them what you want. At that age, at such a young age, whatever you teach them there, that's what they're going to be, right? If you teach them to be ungrateful, they'll be ungrateful. If you teach them to be spoiled, they're going to be spoiled. If you teach them the normal ways that you should be grateful for whatever you have today, and it's, don't waste things, and you know um you know praying before you eat, praying, all these things make such a difference to a child, like their personality. Like, even otherwise, we're bringing her up as a normal girl who's just, you know this innocent little girl who we are teaching her everything. She's learning from us. She's not going to learn from anyone else. She's not going to school. She's learning from myself or my husband, so it's up to us of how we want her to be raised. And that's the most important part of their childhood, is that foundation has to be strong enough, you know
Right.
uh, and it's up to the parents. Like, it's how much time do you spend with your children. They'll learn whatever you want to teach them. Respect for elders, respect for women, respect for whoever it is. Respect your friends. That these are such important values that your child should learn from a younger.
Absolutely.
It's harder when they get older. The earlier you teach them, they can learn anything. It's an open sea. Whatever you keep putting into their mind, it, that's the kind of personality that they will develop.
Right. And tell me, between you and Harbhajan, who's the patient one? Who's the calmer one?
Ah, who's the calmer one? We both have our days. I mean, obviously, I'm the 24/7 around, right? So there are going to be days where
Yeah, we're policemen, so we're not supposed to be calm.
bad cop, I guess. He kind
Mothers
of gets.
are always bad cops. We're always
I'm
bad.
always a bad cop because he's never around. Like I said, I'm the
Yeah,
one who
he
has to
must be
kind of lay
pampering
the
her
discipline.
while he's at home.
He's the one who's like, yeah, pampering, isko karne de, whatever. I'm the one who has to be laying the discipline. No, she's not allowed this. She's not allowed that. She can't have this, because I'm there 24/7. He's there once, twice in a month, and it's like, karne
Yeah,
de. So yeah.
yeah. I love that. Tell me, who's the better teacher?
Uh, Probably me.
Okay. Um, okay. One. I wanted to emphasize on one thing that sports has taught you as a human and as a wife and as a parent.
What has taught me?
Sports.
Sports. So I want to mention this, that when I was young, I was extremely sporty.
I'm
I
so happy to hear that about a girl.
I was because my school was very focused on sports, very, very sports centric. So I was in my gymnastics, I played hockey, I played netball, I played rounders, swimming. It was every sport, like, and a part of every team, So I was very, very into sports as well. So I said, Harbhajan laughs at me when I tell him this. He's like, yeah, whatever. And I'm like, I was really good at sports, like tennis. I was really good. Badminton, I was really good. But he doesn't believe me. But that aside, I think it's taught me so many things. Like, um, especially with Harbhajan, being a sportsman's wife, you've got to learn to be like, you've just got to balance the household. Like, there are going to be off days, there are going to be great days, and you've got to balance it all. You've got to kind of be a support. I think our biggest job is to be a support, and I think that's what matters, for them. Don't question, especially when they come home, don't question anything at that time, it's taught me discipline as well. Like, he's very disciplined in his, when he works out, like, you know, um, I think that's important for a sportsman. I think the most important part of their personality is the discipline that they keep to be fit. It's okay. No one realizes the effort that goes behind of being a sportsman.
Absolutely. Right. Tell me, Geeta, I have to ask you this. What part of your childhood has made you the person today? I feel like somewhere who we are today is kind of sown in our childhood. What part of it do you feel, just like anecdotes or values or things that you feel like have molded you to be the person you are today?
Lot of things. I think everything molds you to be the person you are. You change every 5 years, I believe. A woman changes with every experience. I was very different when I was 21 to what I am today, right? And that's not because of my childhood. That's because of the years, even in my 20s, of what I've learned being in Mumbai alone. That's
Yeah.
taught. And at 35, 36, I'm totally different person. Being a mother, I'm totally different to what I was. I was so carefree and so, I wouldn't say selfish, but it was all about me. I'm living my life. I get up at this time. I plan my day. My childhood was different. I loved my childhood, going to school, the friends I made, the activities I did. I used to dance and dance and dance, all different functions I used to dance. And everything, the way my mom has raised us, and my parents, the way you look at them, you learn from them as well, that okay, this is what I want to be, this is how I don't want to be, uh,
Right.
so there's certain things. I think every experience in your life teaches you. The amount I've traveled, so many experiences that have taught me who I am today. The patience. I wasn't that patient. Like when I was in my 20s, I was short tempered. I could be, but today I'm not that. I'm much more calmer. I'm a more calmer person. I kind of balance things, and running your own household, you grow up, you mature. When
Absolutely.
you're not mature at 20 or 18. You're a wild child. I was a wild child. I was rebellious. But
Yeah.
today I'm, you
Right. Okay, so now we're going to play a fun answer in a word segment, and you need to keep it short. You need to just literally give me the answer in a word. Um, to people who say when you are pregnant, you have to eat for two, what would you say to them?
absolutely not.
Okay. To aunties who give you unsolicited advice.
Thank you.
Okay, who's more likely to forget a PT meeting, you or Harbhajan?
Harbhajan.
WhatsApp mommy groups are like,
I'm not on any.
okay. What's more important, education or sports?
Both, like I said.
Haters will say that you're being selfish when you're working out when you're pregnant.
Get an education.
Okay. One advice for all moms who are pregnant right now.
All the best. I hope yeah, all the best for it.
Yeah. Okay. One app that helps you track your fitness levels while, which is like your absolute favorite.
Uh, it doesn't track my fitness and all, but there was one, what is it, Baby Center? I think Baby
Yeah.
Center can like do different pictures on there,
Yeah.
and you keep a track of your child's growth. Yeah,
Right. Okay. One food you're craving the most right now.
nothing.
That's so
Absolutely.
nice to
It's
hear.
boring pregnancy I've had.
Okay. One mommy duty you want to outsource.
One mommy,
One mommy duty you want to outsource.
one mommy duty I want to outsource. Uh, I don't.
I would love to outsource meal times because sometimes they get fussy and I'm like, oh, I wish there was an
Oh, luckily
injection.
I don't have that. Luckily, my daughter, touch wood, she's really good with that. I think when they have their tempers, they
Yeah, yeah, I hear that. Okay. Describe Geeta as a mother in a word.
describe me paranoid,
Okay. One word to describe Harbhajan as a father.
but extremely caring and possessive.
Okay. One thing where Harbhajan is better than you as a parent.
Um, better than me as a parent. Okay, let me.
He's gonna watch this, huh? You better be good at this answer.
I don't know if he's better than me at parenting, but where is he better than parenting at me? He probably he lets her do whatever. Like I don't. He doesn't say no.
Okay. One place where you are better than him as a parent.
One thing, laying the discipline, laying the, yeah, the routines.
Right. Okay. One word that describes parenting for you.
One word that describes parenting, unconditional.
Love that. Three lessons you've learned from your daughter.
three lessons I've learned from my daughter: patience, love, that you can actually live off less sleep.
Love that. Okay. One thing you learned, which one's tougher, the acting career or and being a professional or being a parent? Which one's tougher?
Parent.
Yeah, I agree. One myth you want to bust as a working mother.
One myth that you want to bust. I think women generally know how to balance. It's internal. Like you just know how to balance everything. When it comes down to it, a working woman can juggle between her home and her professional life, and I don't think a guy could ever do that. I think a woman is born. She's just
Absolutely.
it just naturally happens.
Yeah. The title of my book would be
My title of my book. Uh, oh God, you're asking me. I'm. You know, I'm pregnant right now. So do you know what a pregnancy brain is right now? Do you have any idea? Pregnancy brain is when you go blank and you just forget. You forget everything. And that's what I'm going through right now. You're asking me questions while I'm pregnant, and my brain cells are not even working right now.
screen time for you is
Uh, Trying to keep it at a minimal.
okay. One life lesson that has shaped the person you are.
Um, जो हुआ है वो अच्छा हुआ है, जो हो रहा है वो अच्छा हो रहा है, जो होगा वो अच्छा ही होगा.
That's really heartwarming to hear right now. Geeta, thank you for joining us today. You've been incredible. I'm going to end it again with your positivity is infectious. I'm so glad we did this. I'm already feeling so much better chatting with you on a gloomy day, week.
It was great to be here. So thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks, Geeta. Thanks so much. Bye.
Take